Welcome back. Let's put this in the ether. All men pay in this world, right? Whatever it's financially, physically, right? All men pay for everything. Men pay for everything, right? They pay through their hard work, pay through their sweat, pay with their emotion, pay with their time, pay with their money. All men pay. You want a girl, right? You want a girl, you want to go out with a girl? You pay on the first date. That's the standard by the rules, right? Equality doesn't matter, right? They want their cake and eat it too. So when I say all men pay, you will pay eventually. You want to get some booty, right? You want some booty, you pay for food, right? If you don't pay anything at that moment, you can give it some time. You will pay at the end, right? You'll pay at the end, whether it's your divorce, you'll pay at the end, or you pay at the end of the jail time. You'll pay at the end. All men pay, right? Give to child support, all men pay. Men do not let this allude to your brain, right? Nothing in this world is for free. You pay for a prostitute. You don't pay her to be with you. You pay for her to leave. If she don't leave, if that prostitute won't leave, she gonna call the cops on you and tell her that you raped her. You took advantage of her. And when you do, she put you in handcuffs. Alright? All men pay. That's what I'm saying. All men pay. Alright? There's nothing out of it. All men pay. If you speed for a ticket, you're going to pay for it somehow. If you commit a crime, you're going to pay for it. Or if your time, or whatever. Alright? It's a transactional world. Transactional world. All men pay. Alright? Guys don't like to believe that. Alright? You want to be a successful business owner? You got to pay with your time. Do your diligence. Do the research. You pay by that. But that's the idea that all men pay. Alright? You want to go on vacation? You got to pay for that. You want a big, successful house? You gotta pay for that. You want to be a high value male? Oh, I hate that term. That term is so cringe to me. I just hate that term when people like to say that. All right, but I'm just using that example. You want to be a high value male? You gotta pay for that. All right, men pay for everything. All right, women don't pay for nothing. Women just leech off of men's hard work. All right, men pay for the innovation that they did. They built this world. Right? This is a man's world. They pay when it comes to war, a dispute. They have to go to war and fight for their freedom. Men pays. And women will eventually leech onto men's. Right? In marriages, in relationships, they leech. There's like a parasite. I hate to compare it. I hate to make that comparison. But that's what it is. It's a symbiotic relationship. Right? They're symbiotes. Right? They leech onto the host. The host is the man. Men host the women. Women live with the men. And women benefit from the men by protections. They pay with his life by protecting the women, right? In a relationship, you pay. If you want to be with a woman, you protect her by putting your life in jeopardy. Right? You pay ultimately. You pay the ultimate sacrifice. You sacrifice for everything. Men make the ultimate sacrifice at the end of the day. Right? At the end of the day, I'm not saying women don't make any sacrifices, but men make more sacrifices than women. If the relationship don't work, men make more sacrifices than women. Men sacrifice his paycheck, child support for the woman, his alimony for the woman to sacrifice himself. For them that don't even love you no more, to be in a steady life, to have a steady lifestyle. Right? Men pay for everything. Even though the men don't benefit anything from it, he still pay. Right? He pay her alimony. He don't benefit nothing from a woman at all. They broke up, they divorced. But you have to pay for alimony. In what world does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. If we're all equal, why can't she make her own money? Right? Because when we get older, they can't provide for themselves as much as they do when they're young. They lose their when a woman get older, they lose their what's that? They lose their youth. Right? They use youth. That's how women make their money from their youth and beauty. Now, when they get older, they can't rely on that because their beauty fades. They can't survive. No job. I'm sorry, but most job is very shallow. They chauvinistic. They judge you first, like first impression matter. A job company will more inclined to hire a young, fertile woman than it is for older women. So they lost in that aspect. All right. This is why they impose. They think when a woman get older, they're useless in the world. That's why they have this idea of alimony, which is totally stupid, I think. Alimony, we're all equal. Why can't she make her own money? Right? But at the end of the day, my point is men pay at the end. No matter how stupid the rule is. Right? They go to jail. Right? Men will most likely have a longer jail sentence than women. All right, for the same crime, men will more likely to serve more time than women. Because in society, guys time aren't valued that much. They don't value that much time. The only person that should value time is yourself. You should value your time. People don't value your time. Society don't value your time, right? Hell, sometimes because of today, more women make more than men. What does that tell you? Right? They don't value your time. They don't value your time. Yet again, they make you pay more. See how equal that is? See how unfair that is? Does that make sense? All right, the type of world we're living in. Women make more than men, but yet again we pay more. Right? They like to say this wage gap, right? By using athlete. Well, first of all, there's no wage gap. The reason why men get paid more because they draw in more revenue than women. All right? When you draw in more revenue, you're taking your percentage. If you don't bring in enough revenue, you of course you get paid low because you don't bring enough revenue. So this pay gap is totally a myth. And not only that, this pay gap is a myth because women, especially when they're in the same position in the company, women tend to work fewer hours, take more times off than men. Men usually work more hours and take less times off. This is why they think they have this facade of men getting paid more. Of course, men get paid more, but yet again, they get the same wages. They get paid more because they put more time into it. They get promoted more because they work harder than women. All right? Some men work harder than other people. It's hard to believe, right? It's hard to believe, but people often work harder than other people, right? Maybe you'll get paid more and get more opportunities if you put enough work into it. But that's not reality. The reality is that women work less time than men. That's why it appeared to be that women are getting paid less more. If you would just stop calling off. Women call off. On a percentage of calling off, women call off of work more than men do, right? Am I lying? Right? You work in the job, right? You work in the job when there's men and women. How often do women call off than compared to a men call off? Men hardly call off. Women call off all the time. Because I guess, because how women are, their body, their cycle or something comes out. They got all these things that they have to handle, right? But all these wage gaps is a myth. But back to my point, I'm digress on that. Right? That's another video. But back to my point, that men pay for everything. Right? Men pay the more in life than women do. They pay through time. If it's not financially, it's physically. Right? They pay their time. Right? They pay by providing safety. Alright? Providing safety if they're in an altercation, if the woman's life is in jeopardy from an assailant. They pay by putting their life on the line to protect a woman. They pay in that aspect. Alright? So either way, men always pay. And for some reason, that eludes society. People tend not to think about that. But that's the reality. We need to stop avoiding the reality and live in a rational mindset that we do pay. Like, that's why I want to tell men, for every action, be cautious what you do. Don't be quick to react. Don't be quick to judge. Don't be quick to respond. Take your time wisely. Be rational. Right? Be rational what you're doing all the time. Be logical what you're doing. Take your time to make a well-calculated risk before you take any risk. Right? Well-calculated risk before you take any risk at all. Alright? Do your research, do your due diligence. Alright? You have to understand how women are. Alright? This is women, you gotta expect the way they are. You can't hate on them, you can't bash them. But accept this is the way they are. If you accept the way they are, you understand them more, you will take the right precaution and you will make the right choices of who to avoid, who not to avoid. But at the end of the day, men pay for everything, right? Even on a date, even after the date, even before a relationship, after a relationship, or end of the relationship, men pay all the time. Don't think because you're a man you won't pay, all right? Even though you're not only that, even though you're not in a relationship, you pay somehow, some way. You have to pay somehow, and I don't, even though I don't like that idea. We have to understand that reality of things. That men sometimes they can't get away with this. Taxes. You can't evade taxes. You will pay taxes. You pay child support, alimony, all those nonsense stuff. We hate it. I hate tags. That's one thing I hate the most. But I don't know. But at the end of the day, we all pay. If you have something to comment, leave a comment below. Like, share, subscribe. On that note, guys, peace and blessings.